Hey guys, it's Deanna.
Hey guys, this is Brett. Welcome back to week 7 of Hard Lessons, True Crime, and Paranormal podcast. Not
Heck
contest.
yeah. No, it's not a contest.
We would lose every week.
Yeah, and, we're not that smart.
No. Well, you are, but
Psh, right.
before we get started, I know this week is a conspiracy theory lesson, but there was some true crime news this week here in Texas. Accused Dallas area serial killer Billy Shamirmir was murdered.
What? So a serial killer was murdered.
A little bit of fate happening right there. A little bit
I bet
of karma.
he didn't see that coming.
I bet not. Billy Shamirmir Tuesday afternoon was found murdered in his prison cell. Oddly enough, the suspect is his cellmate.
Oh, no surprise there.
No surprise there. Shamirmir was serving 2 life sentences. He was convicted on 2 murders. He is suspected and accused of 20 plus more. All in the Dallas
So is there
area.
backup to this accused of 20 plus more in the Dallas area? Oh, so they have evidence. It's
Yes,
not
ma'am.
just he's guilty, he's already in there, we might as well just throw these on there too.
Right, they all had the same kind of motive, but
How old was this Shamirmir? Okay. He wasn't Shamirmired all over the floor, was he?
possibly the murder weapon was the cell wall. His head was banged up against it.
Oh. So it was a quite violent end to his life.
It was.
Yikes.
It was.
Lord have mercy on his soul.
I did not look up how old he was, but I did see a few pictures of him. He looked late 40s, early 50s.
Well, he started early then. If he's got 20 kills, about 20 years worth.
At least.
So, no details about this person?
Maybe in a later episode.
Later episode? I was about to say, why can't we just do one later about him?
Exactly.
Alrighty.
So, for those of us that follow us on Facebook, I made an announcement earlier this week that we are going to have special guests joining us. So, technically yes and technically no. A couple of weeks ago when we did the Scottish cryptids, mentioned my baby sis and our future brother-in-law, Robert, and they were gracious enough, after listening to the episode, to send us a voice message. And so I asked them if they were okay with us sharing that with you guys. So here are the golden tones of my baby sister and our future brother-in-law, Robert.
Hello. We listened to your Scottish Cryptids podcast again together so that Robert could give some answers for you. And I'm here with him now, and he has some information and some not information.
Hey, so I appreciate all the call-outs and feel very included in the episodes, so appreciate that. First off, the Wilver, that seems very specific to Shetland. Unfortunately, I had never heard of that. Did a little bit of Googling on it. Seems very, very specific to up there. Very cool, but hadn't heard of it.
By the way, Dad tried to tell us all about Shetland ponies as if they are a Texas thing, not knowing that Shetland ponies come from Shetland.
Yes, which, that was an interesting conversation with your father. But anyway, side note. Your dog fairy...
Sorry, guys. We're new at this.
Hello.
Dog fairies, I believe the dog fairies that you're in Scotland are different, similar-ish, but different from the Hound of the Baskervilles. I believe that was set down in the southwest part of England. I think Devon or Cornwall, probably Devon is my guess, the moors down there. Very similar, but I don't think they're the same thing. And Scottish Gaelic is almost impossible to enunciate, so I can't really help you there. I think you were as close as you're going to get there. Cú Syth is probably just about as close as you get. And then your will-o'-the-wisp, we're calling BS on your brioche. We think that's a bun, and you might have been a little peckish when you were doing your research on that
Hungry.
one. So neither of us can find a Tien brioche, or whatever you were trying to say. And so we think you might have made that one up. So we would like to see what your reference is. Will-o'-the-wisps definitely seem to be very international. They're all over the place. And, interesting side note, it could be the explanation for the Marfa lights, which is relevant to where we just were, visiting over there. I believe we're planning on coming back at Christmas. We haven't figured out exactly when.
All right. That's pretty cool.
Heck yeah. So thank you, baby sis. Thank you, Robert. Can't wait to see you guys at Christmas, and we'd love to have you guys on, even if it's just to sit down and talk.
Heck yeah. That'd be cool.
And brioche bun does sound good, especially toasted with a hamburger patty and melted cheese on it.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm a little peckish, maybe, possibly.
You just had lunch.
Anywho,
let's move on.
Dad thinking Shetland ponies are from Texas is a very believable thing with our father.
Your father?
Yeah.
Yes, I can imagine so. I mean, if that's all you knew, does he believe horses originated in Texas too?
More than likely.
More than likely, okay.
Yeah. I've got some stories on that guy, but
that's for a different type of podcast.
Exactly. Now, I am going to tell at the end of this episode one of my cop stories because I had a request for it earlier this week. So
awesome.
I will be telling one of my little funnies from back in the day.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. All right, class is in session. Sit up and pay attention, people.
Yes, ma'am. The more you know.
The more you know. Awesome.
No number before 1,000 contains the letter A in it.
No number before the number 1,000 contains the letter A. I'm just going to go with you on that one.
I'm going to go with Google on this one because I wasn't going to spell out 1 through 999. I did get as far as 20 and it checked. So,
hey, there you go. You did more than I did.
21 through 999 seems like it would check as well.
Well, yeah, I would think so. Y'all people that are actually out there checking can tell us.
Exactly. One other bit of news. Teach and I had a little discussion, and I also announced this on Facebook. We're going to go ahead and remove cryptids from the rotation, simply because we've done 2 so far, and those are our least listened to episodes. And I'm not really big into cryptids anyway, so...
Because they're not real.
So, except for Nessie.
Alrighty.
If you listen to Robert, Nessie's real.
Okay.
I believe it. I believe in Robert.
I will have to ponder that. I need some real hard, concrete evidence that Nessie exists.
You can tell who likes you more, Robert.
Anyway, so what is the subject today?
But we are going to take out cryptids.
Sorry.
And we're going to replace it with survivor stories.
Ooh. Cool beans.
Cool beans. All right, today's story is a conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy.
Would you like to take a guess on what it
What it is?
What conspiracy theory I'm going to share?
That Lyndon B. Johnson actually had JFK killed because Johnson was into some things that shouldn't have been, and Kennedy found out. No. Okay.
We're going to go in.
That's the one I'm interested in.
We're going to go into the time machine.
Ooh.
But we're going to go back even further.
Even further. Okay, I got you.
We are going to check on not 1, not 2, not 3, but 9 different conspiracy theories surrounding the sinking of the Titanic.
Ooh, I love the Titanic.
I know you do.
Creeps me out, but I love it.
Okay, so you asked for details and dates.
Yes.
Let's get this thing started.
Helps me put it together with a timeline.
When did this event happen? The Titanic hit the iceberg on the evening of April 14th, 1912. It sank the early morning hours of April 15th, 1912.
Awesome.
So between April 14th and April 15th, 1912.
Right.
Where did this happen? It was sailing from Southampton, England to New York City. It crashed 400 nautical miles or 740 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada.
Okay.
There are 2 issues that led to this. That
supposedly,
these are not conspiracy theory.
Okay.
The ocean was unusually calm that night. There was little water breakage at the base, so this made it difficult to spot an iceberg. And issue number 2, the binoculars that were supposed to be in the crow's nest for them to look out for icebergs and such were missing. They weren't up there.
Ooh, so that's kind of one, right?
No, that's a fact. They were missing.
Well, yes, but why were they missing? They were supposed to be there. Oh, yeah, probably because they were supposed to have more lifeboats on there, but conveniently they did not. Why do we need binoculars for? We don't need to see far in the distance.
Cost to build the Titanic?
Oh my gosh. Billions.
$7.5 million. This is back in 1912.
Yikes.
Today's money would be around $200 million.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Because it's not as big as what they built today, you know.
Right. It's probably miniature compared.
Yes.
But back then it was like the top of the line. Okay.
Yeah. The contract to build the Titanic was awarded to Harland and Wolff, an Irish shipbuilding company in Belfast, Ireland.
Were they reputable? No, I don't know how to say that word.
Reputable?
Reputable. Mm-hmm.
Obviously. I don't know. But, I mean, they built several ships. So
okay, so it wasn't like a garage
a brand new startup company.
Yeah. I'm just trying to picture them in their little garage going click, 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 click.
Well, and what I pictured was 2 guys sitting around on the front porch wearing their cut-off overalls with a hay star on their mouth. Hey, Jim Bob, you ever think about building a boat?
I don't think that's what they do in Ireland, but okay.
Have you ever been?
Well, no, but
okay.
Still.
This is South Ireland. So.
Okay, you're the redneck guy.
There you go.
Wow.
Construction started on March 31st, 1909.
Okay.
And it finished, do you want to guess?
Well, it sailed in 1912, so I'm going to guess 1911, late 1911?
Finished on April 2nd, 1912. So just 10 days before it took voyage is when they finished building the Titanic.
Wow. That's freaking creepy, man. I don't like it.
That's a brand new boat.
Yeah. That's... To me, that is like a... nope, I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah. So, conspiracy theories. Time to get into the conspiracy theories.
Awesome.
Conspiracy theory number 1. It was an inside job to collect insurance money.
So they wanted to build the boat, to sink the boat, to collect the insurance money.
Conspiracy theorist Robin Gardner says that the sister ship, RMS Olympic, disguised as the Titanic as an insurance scam by her owners, the International Mercantile Marine Group, controlled by American banker J.P. Morgan, who will come up here in a little bit in another theory.
Ooh.
The theory was busted, however, by the group Ultimate Titanic. They point out that Titanic's construction material had the number 401 bored into it.
Okay.
The Olympics parts were stamped 400. Only materials stamped 401 were found.
Okay. Repeat the conspiracy. I'm sorry. I chased the squirrels and...
Okay, conspiracy theorist Robin Gardner says the sister ship, RMS Olympic, was disguised as the Titanic as an insurance scam by her owners, International Mercantile Marine Group,
Okay.
controlled by American banker J.P. Morgan.
Okay. I'm understanding now about the stamp.
Theory was busted by the group Ultimate Titanic. They point out Titanic's construction bore the material number 401. The Olympics parts were stamped 400. Only materials stamped 401 were found.
At the wreckage.
At the wreckage that they have found.
Okay. It's 401. So
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, there you go. They wasn't swapped.
Exactly. So it was the Titanic that sank.
I don't understand why they would have swapped it, but whatever.
Well, the theory was they swapped it because they knew that the Titanic
Was it ready?
wasn't built quite right, since they did a rush job to get it into the ocean. So they were like, okay, well, we'll scrap it, collect insurance on it.
And
The Olympic, they would scrap the Olympic, collect insurance on it, but yet still have the Titanic in the shipyard having better work done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, really taking the time to, put all those rivets in that,
Yeah, and we'll get to
Apparently
the rivets in a minute too.
Ooh, boy, I was just guessing.
Conspiracy theory number 2.
Number 2.
And I told you J.P. Morgan would come back.
Yes.
The Titanic sinking was part of an elaborate murder plot.
Dun, dun, dun. Agatha Christie type thing.
Yeah,
Well,
could be. J.P. Morgan is blamed to have arranged the murder.
Ooh, behind the scenes.
Morgan wanted to create a U.S. Federal Reserve Bank. He was opposed by his 2 main rivals, John Jacob Astor. I said 2 rivals, it's 3. Benjamin Guggenheim. See, I can say Guggenheim, but I can't say Astor. Mm-hmm. And founder of Macy's, Isidore Straus. All 3 were aboard the Titanic. Guggenheim and Straus went down with the ship. Astor's body was later recovered. Guggenheim and Straus never were.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the theory was because they didn't...
Want the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank.
Right.
Almost.
They didn't back J.P. Morgan, so it was like, let's just sink the ship.
Yeah.
That seems like an awful lot of effort.
You're going to kill 1,500 other people just to kill 3?
Well, stranger things have happened.
I guess. Author J. Kent Layton, who is a maritime author and reporter,
He knows his business?
He knows his business.
About maritime stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Does not believe in this theory. No evidence, and no one has admitted to playing a role.
Well, who would, man?
Exactly. He is quoted, Mr. Layton, as saying, conceivably, anyone or all 3 could have ended up surviving. So why even bother?
Well, exactly. And it's just stupid. Let's sink the whole ship.
Just to kill those 3.
Yeah.
It'd be much easier to poison their drinks or...
Yeah, easier way to do it.
I'm talking like I know murder.
You've read enough about it.
You got a point.
Sure.
This next one is my favorite.
Okay.
The cursed mummy theory.
The cursed mummy.
The Titanic supposedly sank because it was carrying a cursed mummy.
Was it really carrying one?
Centuries old cursed mummy.
Well, I would think it would be old.
Centuries old.
Centuries old.
Mummified Egyptian princess had left destruction across England in the early 1900s once she was excavated. Not evacuated. She was excavated. I guess she could have been evacuated from the ground.
Yeah.
Excavated.
Excavated.
Charles Haas, a member of the Titanic International Society, gained access, however, in 1985 to the Titanic's ship manifest, and there's no mummy listed on the manifest.
You go. So people were just trying to find some odd reason why this beautiful, immaculate, well put together ship would just boom all of a sudden sink.
That's right.
So let's blame it on a mummy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wow, I mean, crazier
that
things.
That almost could be like one of them B-type movies.
Absolutely, it could.
Curse of the Mummy, and then all of a sudden it's on a
Titanic.
ship like the Titanic.
Mm-hmm. You know who would be excellent in that movie?
Like the Mummy, or no, like the Mummy on the Titanic, or like just the person.
There's not a whole lot of acting for a mummy to do, so yeah.
Hey, you gotta act scary when you're wrapped up into them little whatever bandages.
I'm just thinking as the lead actor, saves the day.
Okay, who?
Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Gosler. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just a fan of his. I think he's a good actor.
Oh,
Except
okay.
for Saved by the Bell. I never got to
Dude, don't
that
you
show.
be bashing that show. I love it.
I never could get into it.
Well, that doesn't mean you gotta bash it.
I wasn't
It's
bashing
cool.
it. I was just saying.
You wasn't a fan, that's bashing in my book.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Conspiracy number 4.
4.
A German U-boat torpedoed the Titanic.
German U-boat. I was actually thinking about that earlier when I was like, watch it be some torpedo that just happened to be there and boom.
Yeah. However,
And why was it German? Why couldn't it have been somebody else?
It's a very good question. I
Okay,
don't know.
so back to the German U-boat that didn't sink the Titanic.
World War I had not started yet.
Okay,
So
but they had to practice.
There's theory buster number 1.
Okay, busted.
However, some survivors reported seeing a vessel lurking 10 to 15 miles away until early morning, and then it just disappeared like it went underwater.
Okay.
So
Could that not have been like a floating iceberg way off in the distance and it looked like a ship?
it very well. I mean, you're in that freezing water.
I know you could be hallucinating,
You could be
and you're
hallucinating.
full of fear. I mean,
You've been through an event. You've had some things happen.
exactly.
No telling what. Even if it was people in the lifeboats,
Ooh, far off in the distance.
they've been through some events.
Yeah. Your mind is wandering. Okay.
Exactly. According to a Huffington Post columnist who was unidentified in the article, the sub may have deliberately targeted the luxury liner or accidentally collided with it. There is no proof.
Okay. There's no proof.
Right.
Okay.
Critics point out that the German U-boat attack, and this is another nod in, hey, this could be real. Critics point out that the German U-boat attack on RMS Lusitania in 1950 caused the ship to sink in 18 minutes. The Titanic sank 2 hours and 40 minutes. So
Yeah, that kind of blows that out.
That kinda-
because if it was a torpedo, it would have sank
literally
right away.
blows that out.
Yeah, boom, and yeah, you pun man. Okay, so no German U-boat.
I don't think so. Conspiracy theory number 5.
Number 5.
The sinking was the result of sabotage.
Okay, sabotage.
Catholic workers were horrified that the ship's hull number 3909 space 04 seemed to spell out no Pope when read upside down and backwards.
Like, who has the time to freaking flip things upside down and backwards? And, like, wow.
Apparently the Catholic workers in Ireland.
I guess if you're, like, that superstitious, you look for all kinds of...
Every little sign everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then why didn't they just stop working on the ship?
Exactly.
Instead of keep going?
Well, because they had to have a job.
Well, I'm just saying.
But as we mentioned earlier, Titanic was assigned yard number 401. So that's why all the parts were stamped 401, so they know to take it to yard 401.
But the hull had that number?
And
supposedly.
Her official Board of Trade designation number was 131428. So 3890904 was not in any set of any of the numbers, busting that theory.
People just gonna make up stuff just because they're bored. Need something to do. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
the Catholic workers were blamed for it. Oh, let's sabotage it. We're not. That says no
I
Pope.
think there was more to it about the Catholic workers than just. Oh no, I'm like totally backwards on that. They were blamed. Because they believed that was on there, and it's not even true. Everybody's got to blame somebody. Why don't people just take responsibility for their own stupid judgments?
Exactly. Also, the company was almost exclusively staffed by Protestants, says author Annie Cofield in her book Irish Blood, English Heart, Ulster Fry.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I was like, this is dumb, but whatever.
Conspiracy theory number 6.
Number 6.
Substandard rivets were used to cut costs.
Okay, so this is a conspiracy.
That they didn't use as good a material. They used cheaper
I've heard of this
material.
one before, that it wasn't as... the metal or steel or something wasn't as strong as it should have been.
Yeah.
So basically they started out with the good stuff and they ended up with, pieces.
It's only going to be third class down here. We don't need the best of the
Exactly.
Yeah.
Buttholes. Not third class people.
Right. Harland and Wolff, the shipbuilders over there in Ireland, are blamed to have used cheaper rivets to save costs. Allegedly used wrought iron rivets instead of steel ones. The theory is the lower grade rivets were brittle in the cold water temperatures and easily popped off when colliding with an iceberg.
Well, what wouldn't pop up if you collide with an iceberg?
Well, the wrought iron would pop off a lot easier than the steel ones would. Okay. So if they'd used the steel ones, it would have
just
maybe not
it?
as damaged.
Okay, got you.
However, and this one is sticking around quite thoroughly. Suspicions have haunted Harland and Wolff for over a century now on this theory. However, critics to this theory point out that Harland and Wolff had an unlimited budget and had been paid for everything they had done so far and was paid by the time the ship was built in full for the work. So
why would they cheap out there at the end? And I'm thinking like were the rivets that were supposedly not well made only in one portion of the ship? Were they throughout the ship? That type of thing. Yeah. So you got to lay blame somewhere.
Yes, ma'am. Number 7.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Oh, man. That look on your face like, this is the doozy one.
There's some information in here that's going to make you not like the owners of the CEO of the company, the owners of the Titanic.
Oh.
The Titanic's captain was under pressure to create a new speed record.
Now, I can see that.
I
That's been a rumor or
Yes,
a
ma'am.
theory or whatever.
Captain Edward Smith pushed the Titanic to the limits and was overheard saying several times that he was trying to set a record of crossing the Atlantic.
Okay.
However, there is no evidence that White Star Line CEO Joseph Ismay applied the pressure directly. There's no evidence of it, but there's no evidence that he didn't either.
Well, maybe one of those grayish conspiracy theories. Well, he was about to retire. Why not go out with a bang and push the limits? This is supposed to be the best cruise liner. Let's see how good she can go.
Let's push it and go.
Now, I've heard that one before. That he was warned several times, don't,
Yeah,
especially through that specific area, don't push it. You need to go slow.
exactly. I said earlier that you're not going to like Mr. Ismay, the CEO of White Star Line.
Uh-huh.
He himself jumped onto the last boat and left the Titanic, while 75% of third-class passengers were drowning.
Okay, so he jumped on the last lifeboat leaving the Titanic that wasn't even full of people, and all these other babies and people perished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like people like that anyway.
It's kind of like that guy. I don't remember where it was. I mean, what cruise ship it was. But it seems like back in 2010, 2011, there was like a cruise ship that was either sinking or it caught on fire or something. And the captain fell off of the boat and just so happened to land in a lifeboat.
Oh, so his
remember
precious
that?
little Bobo got saved while others just left there to hopefully not perish.
Remember that?
Vaguely. I vaguely remember that. Hence why I'm not going to go on a cruise.
Captain Smith's body was never recovered, and his final moments are still a mystery to this day.
Well, captains always go down with their ships.
Unless you accidentally trip and fall into a lifeboat.
Fall into a lifeboat. Yeah, my fat ankles. Chickens is what they are.
I agree.
Those are the ones that need, stripped of their
He ain't no
whatever.
captain.
Yeah, he's not a captain.
No.
Number 8.
Number 8, and this one kind of ties into number 7 about trying to set the speed record crossing the Atlantic.
Uh-huh.
The coal fire theory.
Okay, the coal fire. The coal is what made the engines go, right? The heat. Okay.
Right, the steam. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Robert Essenhigh, Essenhigh.
Cool.
He's an engineer with Ohio State University, has the opinion that a pile of stored coal could have been smoldering, and so they added it to the furnace to reduce fire danger. This led to unsafe speeds as the Titanic headed deeper into the iceberg-filled oceans. So they walk in, they see this pile of coal that is stored over here, and it's starting to smolder. Oh, let's go ahead and put it in here so it doesn't catch the ship on fire, making more steam, making it go faster.
So now they're blaming the coal shovelers that they are the ones that pushed the speed that ran into the iceberg that sank the Titanic.
Everybody's getting a blame. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't say the janitor used too strong a bleach and it weakened the material.
Exactly.
David Hill, however, a former secretary for the British Titanic Society, is quoted as saying, "It is my personal opinion that the amount of coal that was added would not make a difference in the speed of the ship." So apparently it was a small pile of coal.
Small pile. I don't know. I mean, I do know the more you put in, the quicker it's going to go, but it just seems like an unlikely thing to actually happen. I'm not saying it can't happen. I just don't know that it did then.
True.
And didn't them people way down in the belly of that know, like, hey, something happens, we're the first to die? You would think that they would be on top of their game and not want anything to happen.
Exactly. Okay, so our final conspiracy theory.
Dun, dun, dun.
The perfect storm theory.
Oh my gosh.
Irish journalist and author. Why can't they go by Joe Bob? Senan Maloney, Senan. Senan?
I don't know, because I can't even read your writing.
Senan Maloney. I'm just going to call him S. Maloney.
Yes, sorry if we're mispronouncing it, because, we're Texas and we say things funny.
And Shetland ponies come from here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wouldn't them be shitless? Sorry. I'm sorry. Texas twang, you never know.
Ma'am. Okay. That was me rewinding.
Okay.
Irish journalist and author S. Maloney came up with this theory.
Okay.
A combination of fire, ice, and criminal negligence.
Okay. Criminal negligence for the no lifeboats.
The
Companies taking them off.
And the shipbuilders using weaker material.
Okay. Ice, we kind of get because it's,
Right.
ice in the water. Fire, that literally could have been the thing.
Fire weakened sections of the hull. It would make it possible for the Titanic to. It would make it impossible for the Titanic to withstand the iceberg's impact.
Because it weakened it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Influence of the fire's impact has been downplayed in the original inquiry into the disaster, but it has also never been discounted. So this theory could very well be the winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, it sounds very plausible that a lot of different factors played into the fact of the tragedy.
Also, The Perfect Storm, A-class movie. Loved it.
It was a good movie. It still makes me cry.
Yeah. Well, I don't, because I'm a man. Men don't cry.
I'm just going to keep my comment to myself.
So that is the Titanic. Let me give you my bibliography, because I did not forget it this week after getting a C- last week.
Awesome.
Spyscape.com article is called Fire and Ice, the Titanic's Top Weirdest Conspiracy Theories. APnews.com article is called Claims the Titanic was secretly switched with a sister ship are unfounded. And a YouTube channel, WION, is just the name of the channel, WION, Titanic Sinking. Here are 3 of the wildest conspiracy theories. So I took conspiracy theories from it and the Fire and Ice article.
Okay.
And also AP News.
So, through your research, did you find any other conspiracies or weird things that stood out to you?
There was one that talked about the Masons.
Oh my gosh!
But it was abolished pretty easily and quickly, so I thought I'm not even gonna. But
did it have treasure? Was that what they were saying? Because it had treasure.
Yeah, and the guy that was leading the investigation as to why it sank and all that was like a higher up into the Freemasons, so he just whitewashed the whole deal and was like, "Yep, hit iceberg."
Oh wow, the conspiracy. Okay, I was like, it did have some pretty valuable cargo on there.
Yes, ma'am.
So, anything else that?
That was the only other one. Pretty much the YouTube video I watched, the 3 that it listed was already listed on my on my report.
So those are basically the prominent conspiracy theories. So
right.
what is the actual consensus of the sinking?
The fire and ice. The perfect storm theory, the last one. That's
The
why I
last
saved it
one.
for
So
last.
even like, because they've continued to research it and make dives and stuff to
Pretty
it.
much that's the only one that has never been discounted.
Discounted. Okay. So is there any new conspiracy theories, or they're just done with all that because it's all stupid nonsense?
Oh, I'm sure there will continually be rehatched, and especially with that sub that Saint trying to get. I imagine there's going to be new conspiracies
More.
coming out soon, and
It's cursed and
it's
all this stuff.
that area is just cursed, and
So people really can't chalk it up to it's just human errors caused these things.
exactly.
That it wouldn't have mattered if it would have been right then or later on. It was still gonna happen.
It was gonna happen.
Yeah, it was just tragic that it happened then.
Now, do you want to give me my grade now, or do you want to hear my funny cop story first? And I got to be honest, the cop story that I have that I'm going to say did not happen to me, but it is so funny. It happened to one of my lieutenants when she was a rookie officer.
Oh, okay. No, I can go ahead and give you your grade. I'm going to have to give you an 8 on this one because this one's good.
I really enjoyed researching this.
And you worked hard on it. Like, it was an all week you were at it doing some research.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Well, thank you, Teach.
You're welcome. This one hits home.
Yeah.
Still gives me nightmares for those babies.
All right. Funny cop story.
Funny story. Lighten the mood.
Lighten the mood. All right.
Let's get the candles. Just playing.
Like I said, this story didn't happen to me, but it happened to a lieutenant of mine. Much respect, Miss Stephanie. We need to get together sometime and relive some old memories. Even though she almost gave me a concussion one night, she did let me go to her house and eat some homemade chili, so that made up for it.
That made up for it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
she's pretty cool.
She is.
The story?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't remember when she was a rookie. It was late 80s, early 90s. I'm not exactly sure. But, so and it was in the middle of summer here in Texas, so of course it was about 850 degrees outside.
Plus your vest and
Full
terrible
uniform. Yeah.
Polyester.
Dark colored polyester.
I'm surprised if y'all didn't burst into flames during the summer.
There was times I felt like it that we did. However, so there was a gentleman that had been mowing his yard, heat of the day, and had a heart attack and passed away in his alley.
Oh.
So at this point in time in her career, Steph had not seen a dead body yet.
Okay.
And so the living legend was her supervisor at that time. I'm talking about Mr. Hoppy.
Hoppy!
Who is still with the police department 40 plus years now.
Yeah.
He got on the radio and told her, Steph, come over here. Oh, I'm good. You're going to have to see one eventually. At least this one is just deceased. Come on over here. So she gets over there, and by the time Steph gets there, paramedics are there, Hoppy's there, fire department's there, and the judge is there. Rest in peace, Judge Munns. Another good man.
Oh, man. So she has an audience for her reaction to her first dead body.
Exactly. And she said, when I first get there, it's not that bad. It's just like a little man laying there, taking a nap.
Oh.
So that's what I kept thinking. And so Judge Munns looks at everybody and says, okay, he got overheated. He had a heart attack. I'm not going to order an autopsy. So before any of us overheat and have a heart attack, how about we go ahead and get Carmichael Watley on their way and we move him up to their location, and we'll finish all of our paperwork in the air-conditioned building. Sounds good, Judge.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And probably with his experience, he'd be like, okay.
Right. So, funeral home gets there, moves him to their building.
So had Stephanie seen him by then? Or
Oh,
not yet?
Yeah, Stephanie had seen him. She was there before the funeral home got there.
Okay. And
That's why I was saying, she said he looked like he was just a little old man laying there taking a nap.
I didn't hear the part where I thought you said that's what she was telling herself on the way there.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So she wouldn't be freaked out.
I got you. So they load him up, move him to the funeral home, and Hoppy and the fire department and paramedics, they go ahead and go back to their stations. You know, they really no use for them to be there anymore.
Nope.
So the judge and Hoppy are standing around the table, and Hoppy's taking some photographs for their report, and Stephanie is 15, 20 feet away by the back door.
Yeah. Perfect spot. I'm thinking, yep, I can see from here.
And then Hoppy's like, come here, Steph. And she's like, no, I can see everything. And he's like, come on, Steph. Really, honestly, I've got a good line of sight. And he's like, Stephanie, get here. So about the time Stephanie gets here, and I don't know anybody really knows this, been around bodies or a lot or not. But every once in a while, the nerves will still twitch. So about the time Hoppy said, come over here, the body twitched and rolled to its side, and his finger pointed at Stephanie.
Oh, Hail Mary, full of grace. I'd be like freaking out.
Oh, she did. Hoppy said before I knew it, she was gone, and the back door was still open.
Did she scream?
He didn't hear anything.
Oh.
He gets on the radio, on his vest, on his shirt. Hey, Steph, come back. You can write me up, you can fire me, you can do whatever. Dead man pointed at me, and dead men don't point. Stephanie, come back. I'm not coming back. You can fire me, like I said. Stephanie, where are you? I am passing the Catholic Church as we speak. Now, this only happened like a minute, 2 minutes before.
She speeded.
The Catholic Church from where the funeral home is what, 3 miles, 4 miles?
I don't know, but it's a distance.
It's a distance. So
she was
gone. So that was her first adventure with a dead body.
Aww. So next time you tell one, you get to tell one about your funny stories?
Yeah, I'll tell something on me.
Cool. Because they're hilarious. You are fun to poke at.
Don't poke the bear.
Yeah, but you're funny.
All right, Teach, let me mix these up. And you reach your hand in here and draw one out.
Draw. Okay, it was one.
Okay.
It just folded really thick. Paranormal.
Ooh, we gonna get spooky.
I hope so. This time I hope you really bring the big guns on it.
Hey, I've been getting some good feedback on those stories.
Yes, but you know me. I mean, I'm not a paranormal.
You're right.
So you need to make me believe that it really happens.
Maybe
exists.
I'll get Sam to hide in here somewhere and reach up and scare you.
No, that's cheating.
I'm just saying.
Me too.
Classmates, we hope y'all have a great week. Oh, I can't really say anything yet, but I've got another excitement coming up soon. So
Don't get my hopes up like that.
Leave
me hanging.
Leave you on a little cliffhanger right there. Y'all have a great week.
Y'all have a great week. Class is dismissed.